'Cause fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Fish on like Donkey Kong on the Slam Shady Bomber. Here with Lukey, we were, I don't know, it's almost fighting kind of like a little red. It's popping its head.
And I just missed a fish.
As long as it's not a catfish.
Yep, redfish.
Redfish, baby, on the board. The old bomber. Yeah, we started the day off. You can hear the wind. We were trying to go offshore. There's some false albies out there. And it was just a little bit too rough. A cute little red there. We'll take it. I'm gonna get a pic for the, do a community report as well. And Luke, did you learn a lesson here? Joel's schooling you today on the difference between bonita. This is your chance to talk.
I learned
I don't know,
nothing. I'm trying to get my fish. I just missed 2 strikes in a row.
Luke's like, what do I do?
Yeah, so we're out
perfectly.
here
See you,
fishing a Plan B trip. Let me get out of Joe's way there.
All right, look at that. Bomber, Dr. Juice. And a little heart, that's all you need to catch redfish.
Yeah, this is Plan B trip. We were planning on going near shore reefs. The wind was, some storms are coming, and the wind got really out of control. And so Plan B, we're up here in the shallows, and we're basically just power fishing. We have some wind, and now the fact that we're kind of early fall, I guess technically fall just recently started, and the schooling red, the good news is schooling reds are starting to come in, so we're moving fast. And at this point, I just slowed down because we got like 4 strikes here in one spot. I'm using the skinny lipper. This is our new subsurface lure. It's almost like a blend between a topwater plug and a jerkbait. And then Joe's using the bomber paddle tail. And so generally when it's like the sun just came up, oh, now I'm in the tree. Sweet. So good news about this plug is that it has inline hooks. So I literally just had a terrible cast and got away with it. Got out of those trees. But yeah, generally, this is an awesome lure when the fish are a little more aggressive, like right about now. And then once the sun's up a little bit higher and the fish slow down, that's when I'll switch to the bomber in most cases.
Quick little tip. So we started just right up here. We literally just got out here on this spot. And I was doing a straight retrieve with the bomber. So I have it on a 1/8 ounce Haas Helix, so to go weedless. And I was doing straight retrieve. And I got a couple little hits, like some swipes, but nothing was happening. So on that one, that was the first time I casted it up towards the mangrove line, and I started doing the double pop and letting it bounce, or letting it go down towards the bottom, and I actually didn't hit the bottom. And that was when that redfish hit, when I did the little bop bop.
Yep.
Boom. So importance of changing it up. Oh, I'm in the trees. Now I'm out of the trees.
I missed 4 hits now on this lure. They must be smaller fish. I missed another hit on this point right here. You'll probably be able to pick them off. Probably shouldn't have said anything.
Well, what would a good brother do?
Yeah, right there.
There's
Like
the
that.
point.
You will likely get a strike there.
Let's see if the old pop works again.
So with power fishing, it's really about just covering ground, right? We know those fish are a little bit spread out. They're basically following the food around. And the more water we cover, the more fish we're going to catch. It's really been as simple as that. And so the fact that we haven't had a strike in a few casts, we're going to put the power pole up and we're going to keep on going.
Power fishing. This is something that old Mike Iaconelli is famous for. I just saw he got inducted to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. Yeah, we got to go fishing with him that one day, remember?
Yeah, it's the best caster I've ever fished with. It was insane to watch him cast. Like we're fishing docks and it was literally like skipping like 20 feet under the dock at like pinpoint accuracy. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah, flawlessly.
Go ahead and scoot over a little bit there, Joe.
And just like with the flick of the wrist too, right? Like
yeah,
we're all getting ready and he's just like nuts. Oh, I had a little hit there. Something swiped.
Yeah, when you're out looking at spots, really when you're going, it's really about finding the food. And so basically looking around, we're on a grass flat. I'm seeing a ton of pinfish, which is a great sign. Just more food, the better. And the fact that we're seeing all this life here means we will definitely stick around for quite a while.
Oh yeah. So we found this spot on Smart Fishing Spots. And I don't know if you guys have heard yet, but it is now officially a native app. Really, really pumped about that. So we've got a lot more coming with it. Any of you guys have been in the app business or been part of an app launch or worked for the company with an app launch, man, it is more work than I ever imagined. Oh, look at that cast. That deserves a strike.
That deserves one.
But yeah, this thing is finally out. And of course, the desktop version, tablet version's updating as well. We'll still have the old version for those that just, there's always people who just don't gravitate towards new stuff and want the old one. So we're going to keep that live for a little bit as well. And until we get all the little bugs. So it's kind of still in a beta testing, but it combines Smart Fishing Spots with Smart Fishing Tides. And so now everything is just one click away versus, if you remember, oh, I didn't see your lure there, versus 3 to 4 clicks sometimes to get certain tide stations. It is, it's so much nicer.
Yeah, it is a game changer. It's faster and more convenient, which I've been obviously had the beta test for quite a while now, and it's to the point where I don't even use the old one anymore. This new one's just more efficient. Has everything in one spot, and It's faster. So it's a different format though. So those used to the old one is pretty cool, where the map and the tides are all shown together. And as you move, the coolest thing is as you move around on the map, the tides automatically shift to whatever the closest tide station is to the point that you're looking at. Really cool. So it is by far the most efficient mapping software for inshore saltwater anglers. The tides automatically adjust to the spots being looked at.
Yep. And so this spot, Luke, why did you pick this side of it? Whoa, besides looking at Smart Fishing Spot. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's really about the wind. We have this pretty strong wind, and in general, especially using lures, but in general, the windy side of, like, this is a big island. So we're on the windy side of it, knowing that the wind is going to be pushing a lot of food up to the trees. And so a lot of the predators will just naturally gravitate to the windy sections. And it just helps mask our presence. We're in a 24-foot boat, which is pretty hard to sneak up on big fish in really calm water. So multiple reasons we're here, but this definitely increases the odds of getting some action. Nice little point right there.
Hit the points, focus on the points. Yeah, and it just enables us to let the wind push us versus fighting against it.
Yeah, especially in a big boat like this. This is like a big sail. We would have no chance trying to fight this wind.
All right, and we got new skinny lipper colors. Let's talk about all the new stuff coming out. Man, we got so much.
Yeah,
October and November and December are gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, skinny lipper right now, at least previously, it's always been just this color here, which is Slam Shady. Still my personal favorite. But we have 3 more coming out very soon. One is silver. It's like a natural silver with silver sides with black top. One is gold, so it's orange on the bottom, gold sides, and green top. That's for like really tannic water. Whereas the silver and black is really for the really clear water. And then the third one is purple and black. So that'll be for those night fishermen and people who like catching tarpon.
Big beefy hooks on it still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to catch a tarpon on that Barney color. What are we gonna call it? We got names yet?
Yeah, I'm still working on names. I have some. We put a post in the community for members, so we like most cases, we have members give our products names, cool names. Feel like got some creative members, and some really cool ones are coming. Have already been posted, but many more to come.
And we got new rods we're working on.
Yeah, I'm using a prototype rod right now.
We even have a new mulligan bomber. Got a whole new stick bait type of a lure. A lot of stuff we've been working on.
And we have a lot that we're working on. The odds are we're not going to actually release all of them. We do a lot of testing. The only time we release anything is when it's provably better than what's out there. So we literally have like 10 different lures being worked on right now and testing them out, tweaking them, and we'll just keep tweaking until it's the best thing that we can find for that particular function. Like the mulligan, right? It's been the best, just proven to, at least from our testing, it's proven to be the best 4-inch paddle tail out there. It casts farther, its tail action is just right, where it moves with very little movement, and flat out catches fish. Like power prawn, right? Like that has been a total game changer for my game, both near shore and inshore. And so we will be continue doing a lot of testing. Even testing out some reels too, looking for the right reel, again, that we can have provably better for certain applications.
Where are all the fish?
Yeah, this is
Started off strong with the red.
Yeah, so now we're getting out of the wind. We might have to do a big loop around.
I just got hit there, actually.
All I can do is talk trash.
That's right. Didn't feel like a big one.
So now that it's getting calmer, I'm just gonna cast this just a little bit longer. I might switch over to the bomber as well.
Oh boy, in the trees. Come on, it's the beauty of being weedless, baby. Can still get some tree action. Just pruning them. Well, it's part of power fishing. There any trout out here on this flat? Got some grass. We're in a few feet of water.
Yeah, I haven't been here in a while, but it used to be a really good trout spot.
Let me go back on the backside here. See what we got. Oh.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch. Sun's getting a little bit high. I'm gonna switch over to the bomber as well, but I'll be using the Gold Digger color. We'll see how Gold Digger does compared to Joe's Slam Shady. Woo. As always, little Dr. Juice before it gets wet. It's important to do this before it gets wet. I literally just do like 2 drops, spread it around, and that lasts for a very long time. Whoop. You get some hits out there?
Yeah. And also too, if you're a member and listening, make sure to go see if we have a chapter in your area and attend one of those. I am just hearing more and more really awesome feedback and comments from members at these chapter meetings. Just some great speakers, a lot of fun camaraderie. I know there's been a few posts in our insider community recently from some new members who have moved to places like Florida, Texas, Carolinas, and saying, hey, I'd love to meet up with somebody, do a little fishing, fellowship, life. And the chapters are a great place to do that. Anywhere from 50 to 100 people are showing up to these every month, and it's always on the same night of the month, like third, I'm not saying this is it, but everyone's different. Third Wednesday of every month, or second Tuesday, first Thursday. Really, really fun. I think we have 12 of them now, 12 chapters.
Yeah, 12 chapters.
And more to come. There's 2 that are getting started in Texas, I heard recently, which is exciting. So we'll have our first Texas chapters. Really neat. The bomber, man, with the wind.
Yeah, this is by far my most trusted lure for the fall, because again, these fish are spread around and you can cover a lot of water easily. This bomber, all it is cast and retrieve. This lure has good action by itself. So it's not like a jerk shad where you have to really work it, or a top water plug where you have to walk the dog. Literally cast it out, reeled in.
Well, I'm glad we're doing this in the morning, because about 2 more hours, it ain't gonna feel like fall here.
Yeah.
Although the humidity is gone right now, it feels awesome. Let's talk about if you guys feel like I look differently. Not because my hair, because I haven't had one in a while, but I had my first ever fantasy football win my entire life. I never played fantasy football, and finally the guys convinced me to do it. We had a little office fantasy football, and first week, loss. I didn't know that you actually had to like pay attention to make sure players like Kelsey are actually playing. So one of my top dudes got no points. Second week, destroyed. But third week, with 170 points. Dude, I destroyed all you punks. That was the highest score of the week in our little thing.
I didn't check the stats. Hope I'm still number 1 in the league. I did lose though, so probably not. First loss.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're not, because I don't think Cameron's lost. What about you guys? You play fantasy football? You play, Joel?
I've had it in a couple of years.
Yeah. Well, I'm beating you this year then. All right, let's talk about this false albacore, bonito. Luke, did you learn anything this morning?
I don't know much about it other than when they're fun to catch. I've been just really started to catch them recently. They've been all over the beaches lately, and you can see the birds diving, and you come down. They kind of look like mackerel or ladyfish hitting, other than they're bigger explosions, because these are good sized fish. And then when you hook them, they just go nuts.
Well, they're like little tuna.
Really hard fighters.
My buddy, I told you, Kyle sent me a pic. He was catching little false albies on the East Coast this same week. Really crazy. All right, so Joel, so what's the deal? You seem to be the...
But I was reading up on them. They say that, at least I read online, so it's true. But what I was reading, it was from a couple different sources, is that the meat of those is actually really good. One of the articles saying that it even is equivalent to like blackfin tuna, which I love blackfin tuna.
Y'all shaking his head.
And so next one I catch, I'm keeping it for sure. And that was the plan today. Like, we have ice in the boat, we're ready. Like, I was gonna bleed it and brain spike it, do the proper method, and then turns out the weather forecast was way off, and now we're stuck inside.
Inside.
So
I think everybody
inside. Oh, got a hit there.
go on and eat it and make their own decision.
Okay. Joel says, if you couldn't hear him, everyone should make their own decision. You've tried one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
It's not that it's bad. It's like I gotta have nothing else in the cooler before I keep it there.
Okay. Basically, it's bad. Joel's like, I'd rather eat a ladyfish.
Not that bad.
So I'm gonna try it. Next one. Basically, the last 3 times I've been just off the shoreline, I've got them. So I will know for sure in the very near future.
How far off the beach are they?
Anywhere from like 1 to 5 miles. That's where I've been seeing them.
So they're not on structure. They're just out there chasing.
Yeah, I caught some off the reef. They're basically just following the food. They just swim around and they basically look for birds. But I caught some on the reef, and then the others, when I was coming back along the beach from Pine Island, I saw a bunch of them. Could have caught as many as I wanted that day. They were everywhere.
And some mackerel reports.
Yeah, mackerel in the same. They usually are in the same areas. See mackerel skyrocket and little Spanish mackerel.
Yeah,
some of the mackerel are actually decent size, but those false albacore are way bigger.
Whoa, well, look at that cast. Come on. All right, we got some potholes here. There's got to be some trout around here somewhere.
This is a good looking zone.
Where are the trout?
Nice little cove right there. Ooh, that cat should have one right there.
But fall here, we got the redfish starting to move. I'm starting to see more and more reports from all over the place of people getting into some nice schools of reds.
Mm-hmm. It's happening. Oh man, that was a nice redfish.
Dude.
Oh.
Did you hear that? Look at that boil.
Oh man, heartbreaker. That was like a 34 incher.
Did it?
I saw him. I watched him come up, and
Did it actually have the lure at all?
Yeah, I mean, I felt it. Oh my gosh. The fact that I saw it, it's like a topwater plug where you can see it action. You set like a little bit too early. I literally saw it come up, and oh my gosh.
That was a Mondo
That's a
fish.
heartbreaker. Gold digger bomber. I told you this is one of my most trusted lures.
That was nuts, man.
Oh, I'm just devastated right now.
That was a big red.
That was a really big one.
Well, I'm gonna.
Yeah, it was one of those where, just don't set the hook till you feel it. And I got a little trigger happy there. Just lost a giant redfish.
What were you doing? Straight retrieve?
Yeah, straight retrieve. Man, that's a bummer. Get another cast back up in there.
Yeah, I'm guessing the audio might have even picked up on that thing. I came up and just annihilated it.
That was a very nice fish.
Of course, in Louisiana, you would have had 3 shots at it.
Yeah.
Not here in Tampa.
Nope, you get one shot here. Well, quest continues. Keep moving, power fishing. So knowing that there's at least that one red here, I just turned the trolling motor down a little bit. So now we're just going a little bit slower. But the goal is, again, just to basically cover every point. In that case, I was covering a little cove, like just any oddity in the shoreline. Get at least one cast 2. And just try not to miss opportunities like we just did.
Sometimes you're better off not seeing the fish.
Yeah, in that case, I wish I wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah, it's tough. Oh, man.
That thing was going for it, too. It chased it down for like 5-6 feet away.
Well, we'll see if we can recreate that memory.
Yeah, odds are he's got some buddies around.
And so you said you were doing just straight retrieve, huh?
Yep.
You have yours on 1/8?
Yep. Yeah, 4-aught. These are the Haas Helix hooks. The 4-aught is my favorite for this with the 1/8 ounce weight on it. It skips incredibly well.
Almost too well.
Yeah, before we started, Joe spent some time up in the trees because he skipped into them.
Like if you put some force on this, like after like skipping a power prawn and you go to this, I mean, it shoots up.
Yeah, it's the best skipping lure we have. And I even skip, typically when you skip, you have to do a sidearm cast and keep it low. This is one that can skip
Lynn got
it.
a hold of that one.
This is one you can skip it even overhand cast.
I don't know how I'm
Joe,
getting out of that one.
Like Joe, you just cast straight in the trees.
Well, I was actually quite a few feet off, and the wind got my ball. Oh, God dang. I got out of one branch and then went to the other one. Hook is officially exposed.
Maybe don't break it. Let me make some casts up in there first.
Oh, I see it. It's on that edge. Oh, don't get wrapped around my line. It'll be double whammy. Well, this will be an interesting podcast.
Oh man, I just had to hit right underneath your lure.
Seriously?
Yeah. Get another cast up in there.
Rub it in. Put my line up high so you don't hit it. Oh, did you see that skip? Or you weren't watching it, were you, Joe? Just amazing. This thing just like it rolls.
Yeah, it is shockingly good at skipping.
So earlier we're coming around right over here and we saw what looked like an Alfred Hitchcock Crow movie thing had been jiggered with birds. I never seen so many birds just everywhere. It was just like, what is happening? So of course our minds are like, all right, they're feeding. This is gonna be loaded with bait and blow-ups. And as we got closer to these, what would you say, thousands of birds.
Yeah.
Literally, there's one wide wingspan bird and they were like, that's a bald eagle. And the bald eagle is basically going in, messing with all these little small seagulls and stuff, and had really disrupted the entire bird sanctuary, and it was wild how scared they are of that bald eagle. And I don't blame them. America, freedom. Give me a little bit closer.
Yeah, and so when getting, if you don't get stuck in the mangroves every once in a while, you're not casting close enough. But when doing so, just try to plan it so that you don't end up letting the wind or whatever just take your boat way into the trees. So I'm just nosing up with the back end out, and now just ready to take the motor away from the trees. That way, sometimes there's some like dead sticks hanging out, and you don't want your side of your boat getting slammed by it. So kind of go in with the plan of getting out already set.
And then also make sure you don't have rods exposed to getting caught in the trees. We've done it all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good time when rods snap.
Yeah, I used to always just go straight into it and then get the lure out, and now before you know it, you're like 4 feet in the trees and you got spiders and stuff falling on you. Not fun.
Snakes like Bill Dance. They were showing, I guess on Bill's Instagram page, just some old bloopers. And it was one of the microphone, the boom mic kept falling down and hitting him on the head. Have you seen that?
I've seen that one.
Oh my gosh. It fell like 3 times, and finally you could tell he was getting ticked off. He's like, shove that boom mic where the sun don't shine. Don't do that again, you stinking idiots. Oh man, it literally just hit him right on the head while he's in the middle of a tutorial. Oh boy, that's trees. Oh yeah, saved it. All right, man, this little mangrove out, show that, Joel, real quick. There's gotta be some fish around here.
Yeah, it's a nice looking spot.
And I'm pretty sure looking earlier on Smart Fish Spots, there's a little oyster bed around here, right?
Yeah, I've fished it before, but yeah, there's oysters. Yeah, that Smart Spots is the easiest platform to be able to find all the different oyster zones, which around here is gold.
Yeah.
You can find the oysters, that's usually where the fish are. So we should be getting another hit or two up here at this point. So this is what you want to look for. It'd be a lot better if we saw a lot of like jumping mullet and stuff. That's usually where I've been finding most of my fish lately, and unfortunately there just aren't many here right now. But we have an area with we have mangroves. There's a lot of forms of structure. We have mangroves, we have seagrass on the bottom, and then we have oysters as well, and the wind is blowing up against it. So we have 3 forms of structure with some wind blown, just activity that usually spices things up. And now we're on the shaded side of the island. So these fish aren't quite as awake as all the others as far as having the sun exposure. Oh, look at that oh my gosh, another giant redfish. You see that boil?
That
look
was
at that boil right
nuts.
there. That was even bigger than the other one. See how fat that was?
That's crazy. I wonder how long it'd been following you.
Oh my gosh.
And you were just right in the middle, aren't you?
Yeah.
All
That
right.
thing was like 5 inches thick. Oh my gosh. Talk about a double heartbreaker.
This is nuts. It came right up to the boat. It must have been following it forever.
Gosh.
Did that one actually hit?
That one I didn't feel. The prior one I actually saw it and felt it hit. But the problem was the first one I saw it as it was starting to hit, and I started setting the hook. So I
that was
literally pulled it out of its
crazy, dude.
mouth.
It's another
That one
reason
was a monster.
not to reel your line all the way in too fast.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
Because that was really close to the boat too.
Yeah.
I think he must have seen the boat because he just.
Yeah, he saw us. He was coming up to eat, and then he must have seen us as he.
Oh, I just had a hit there. Little trout hit.
And it was right in the zone that it should have been in too. So I devastated that missed another opportunity.
All right, third time's a charm, as they say. Eh? Hey, comrade? Yes, go on. Win in Rome. All right, so oysters up here.
Yeah.
All right, I'm catching me a fish on this cast. I got a funny feeling. Dang, man.
That was a really big fish. So they're just a little bit lethargic today. I'm totally sucking it down.
They're probably like, hey, it's supposed to be fall. Doesn't feel like it yet. Water's still pretty warm.
Yeah.
I haven't had a legit cold front. I'm gonna go back where Luke was seeing the big rat.
So here we have this, it's an oyster point that's sticking out, and again, this is just an ideal type of spot for some more fish. So I'm just kind of doing this a little bit slower still. Because once we get around this point, we're gonna be on the side that's wind protected, and that is likely not gonna have as much action as this. And so what I'm gonna do now, just to try to generate strikes, so before I was doing a straight retrieve and they're really not committing. So I'm just gonna do every once in a while, just kind of do some little jerks, right? Just try to get that commitment. See if we can get that commitment a little bit further away from the boat, and then turn one of these misses into a connection.
Oh, no, look, I was trying to go back in that zone where you missed it.
Just trying to steal that fish. Yeah, that thing's solace. Once these reds are spooky as Tampa Bay, this gets a lot of pressure. And once a big red like that sees you, its odds of it eating are very low. That's why you might as well move around. Power fish. But we could swing back here in maybe another 45 minutes and have a shot at him again.
I'm surprised there's not some trout on the back of this bar here.
Yeah, I know. This is a good looking little trout area. But again, right now a lot of the predators are following the food, and there's just not a lot of food right here. Again, I generally looking for mullet, like jumping mullet, and I don't think I've seen a single one since we've been fishing. There at least is a pinfish, at least there was at the beginning. I haven't been seeing as much lately. So there's at least some food, it's just not the high concentrations like I generally would like. But there's enough food to have two big redfish that we could have caught. Like how we caught both those redfish, this has been an amazing day. Like an awesome podcast catching two giants.
Yeah, that's what's just so wild about fishing. This went from being ho-hum, boring 30 minutes, although I did land a redfish, to somewhat excitement. But yeah, you're right. Had even just one of them, you land a 32, 34 inch
both
red.
Those were 100% over 30 inches.
That kind of changes things. Yeah. So I don't know if you heard the podcast. I did it solo a week or so ago, and it was do pro fishermen really catch fish every single trip? And it was really just to help a lot of the anglers who get a little discouraged because you see all the pictures and you hear the good reports. A lot of people aren't reporting on the bad stuff, and that's why we love doing these podcasts. Sometimes there are epic days and sometimes they're not, and but it makes it real.
Yep.
I did share in that. I was like, I think a pro, if we had to catch fish, we always have some certain trout spots. Like we could get shrimp and hit a dock or a bridge and feel like we're always going to guarantee to catch something.
Or to change it up and go after, a lot of times on tough days, I'll just change it up and go after like the schoolie trout,
right.
Small trout, and that's almost guaranteed.
Right, but you also have different expectations.
Right.
Of, hey, to me, to you, a good day is a slam. And there's a lot of people just going out trying to catch their first fish. But even in baseball, I use that baseball analogy. I mean, the absolute best of the best of the best. 4 out of 10 would be almost miraculous.
But really, once you get better at picking spots, again, like this software will help isolate the areas that are likely to have action. Like this is a slow morning. Like this would be I would say a slower than usual trip. But at least we're in an area with good fish, and we have at least some good chances at fish. So like those were 2 really close calls. And basically, if you're fishing areas that you're not having follows, that you're not seeing anything, that just means that the spot selection probably wasn't as good as it could have been, and just to spend more time on that. Because the issue that I did, I know we both did, but I'll just wrap myself out.
Cool.
Is I was having a lot of really slow trips, and I was just thinking because I didn't have the right bait or the right lure. It was okay, I should have blacked out my live well, or I should have, got the new fancy lure that was on TV or whatever. In reality, I just needed to find a good spot. We've done a lot of lure tests over the years, and it is very rare that as long as it's a good lure and it has the same depth, like the same depth range and everything, it's very rare that one lure is going to catch a ton of fish, another one's going to catch nothing. Usually, if you're in a good spot and give it at least a pretty good presentation, you're going to catch fish. So spot selection is by far the number one thing that people struggling need to work on. And that's really what the club's all about, the Insider Club. For those who haven't joined, we have every single week we have game plan lessons that just give a game plan of the type of spots to focus on, just to make sure that you're in the areas like this that at least have some good life.
I'm getting hits like every cast out on this side.
Yeah, there's probably
small little trout.
There's probably trout out there. Yeah, so the bombers are great. The bigger fish gravitate towards it. As we've seen today, we've had some giant, really nice fish go after it. But the bad thing is that it does weed out some of the smaller fish. Like the smaller trout have a hard time sucking it down.
The other thing on the club, you nailed it. The spots are definitely first. You got to be able to find that 90-10 zone. But the small things like the positioning and approach.
Yep.
I mean, you even talked about it, why we came in that way with the wind, and we see so many people making that mistake, mostly because it's just not taught. All the fishing shows and YouTube, because it's not that exciting and glamorous,
yeah,
but it's so critical. I mean, it's just the normal mechanics of fishing. Like even how you position up on those trees to get the lure out.
Yeah, and how we started on the windy side. Now we're in the wind protected side. Like the odds of us catching something really good right now are just plummeted.
You do see that white egret up there.
Yeah, there's some birds. There's some baits. I'm seeing some little bait and stuff, but the odds of us catching something good is way smaller here versus just 100 yards that way, simply because...
Well, that attitude, you're probably right.
Simply because we don't have that wind.
Do a podcast on attitude, Bill.
I was being realistic.
You want to be my latex salesman? Oh, dang. Got puffered.
See, you proved my point. Went from having giant redfish follow us to getting puffered.
Attitude.
Talk about a kick in the shin.
Attitude.
But we're gonna keep at it. We can. One of the rules with podcasts is you can't stop in the middle. So we'll power through, and basically to have the best odds is when it's calm like this, the fish are gonna be most comfortable like right in the trees. That's where they feel most protected. And longer casts are even more crucial. We're in a 24-foot boat. These fish, anyone that's decently smart can feel us from a long ways off. So I'm trying to get just far enough where I can barely reach that shoreline and try to do long casts into the trees and see if we can fool one of these fish.
Did you take that bottle of the juice?
Yeah, got it here in my pocket.
I can't fish without the juice. All right, always make sure to...
So how much do you put on?
Huh?
Is that you that keeps leaving streaks?
What do you mean streaks?
Oh, look at that dripping off there.
Yeah, I drip it in the water.
Wasting the juice.
I'm bathing that stuff, dude. Here you go. You need a new bottle, by the way. Go to fishstrong.com. Grab yours. We have this fall lure bundle as well for power fishing like this.
Yeah.
Some little bait up there. Look at that. See that school bait? Ooh.
Yeah, so just to make this fall fishing as fun and easy for you as possible, we do have a bundle of all the lures that have just proven to just outperform the others day in and day out, and at significant discounts. So for members, the total discount. So it's lures plus some cutters for line to make your rigging easier. But for members, it's 50% off of the total bundle, which we've never done a bundle at that high savings. We just had, we're thinking about, okay, how can we just best serve our members? Obviously, we always promise to give great deals, right? Members always have the best deal possible, and most members save more money than the dues, just to make it a no-brainer decision to keep renewing. And then number two is just to make things easy, right? Make what most people think is hard easy. And so we've hand selected the right lures. We have video lessons, actually filmed them last week. Now that the fall fishing has just started picking up. Filmed last week, caught fish on every single lure during the tutorials. So you will see exactly how to rig everything. Ooh, that was a big fish up there.
Dude, two of them.
A really big fish.
I just bombed it up on shore, and it must have cast right next to a redfish.
So you'll see
right next to where the white egret was.
You'll see exactly how to rig everything, how to retrieve everything to get strikes. And,
Dang, man.
And so if you just simply get that bundle, you'll have what you need, both lures-wise and knowledge-wise, to make sure that you can go out and have some fun on the water.
So we're in the right area.
Yeah, again, those fish are just spooky. Because the one spook, you landed on the one, and the other was 10 feet away, and that thing's still spooked. So that's the problem with the calm zones like this. Yeah, years ago I used to love those calm days and getting out there and it's nice and calm, and now I cringe, especially with this bigger boat. It's just so hard to spook up on anything big.
Oh man, look at that bomb. There's some bait up here. There's definitely fish, to your point. It's just glass over here. Yeah. Sometimes makes it tough. But I'm gonna have the right attitude about it. Something chasing that?
Nah, it's just mullet spooking around.
Okay. Looks so good back here. Ba-bomb, ba-bomb, bomb, bomb. All right. So, someone asked on the community this morning, I was looking at on my way here, about do you prefer incoming or outgoing tide in the fall?
I don't really carry the one. I just like it to move moving.
That's what I said.
I like twilight. Basically, like right as the sun's coming up, I don't care what the current's doing, that's when I want to be fishing. That's almost always
sun is coming up. Oh.
If anything, maybe outgoing would be a slightly preferred, but as long as it's not slack.
Why would you say outgoing?
Just the water's going out, and so the fish are starting to pull away from the structure, and there's easier to access. So I would say a non-high tide as well, where anywhere in Tampa Bay at high tide, those fish are usually under the mangroves. They're just really tough to access. So I prefer like a mid-tide, whether it's coming in or out.
Well, you saw the same thing even in Arapica, right? Remember when we finally kind of dialed them in?
Yeah, I mean,
when it was super high tide, they were all way up in that sauger. You couldn't even get back there.
Yeah, they were inaccessible.
Yep. Yeah, it's good feedback. Okay. What do you think? End it?
Yeah, I think we need to
try
go
a new area.
We need to go a different area that has some wind on it. We're at a big disadvantage in this zone.
Yep. The other update is the tackle tester program. If you're not familiar with it, we just recently introduced it, and that's every month we're giving away free tackle to test to our Insider members. And the main reason is we want feedback. And we only have so many coaches and so much time that we can test stuff out in our own home waters. We'd love your feedback so that we can continue to really be like the Consumer Reports of inshore saltwater fishing, and make sure that we only carry the absolute best of the best, the things that are really working in the store, fishstrong.com. So you don't have to do anything special. If you're an Insider member, we'll automatically enroll you.
Ooh, just had a hit.
And let me go back where Luke went. And yeah, we just want you to use it, and you get to keep it. It's yours for free. Kind of no-brainer. And just trying to make it super obvious that you stay an Insider member forever and don't miss out on anything from the app to the tackle tester to all the discounts we have going on every single day. So make sure to be on the lookout for that. It's usually in the mid-month we send the email out. The only catch is it is first come, first serve. I think like on the last one we had 1,000 or maybe it was 2,000 units. So we're never gonna, we almost have 50,000 members. We're never gonna be able to give 50,000 free samples out, or we won't have a business very long. But we do always at least keep a couple thousand usually available. So be on the lookout for that. First come, first serve. Otherwise, we will talk to you on the next episode. Luke is in the trees. What a great
I went
finish.
from like an almost perfect cast, go ahead and move your line up, an almost perfect cast to total bummer. Right on the point of this mangrove, and unfortunately the hook must have just barely gotten exposed. So we'll go ahead and end it, and let me get myself out of the trees here.
And get his dignity back. Hopefully you find your dignity in there.
Hopefully.
Whew. All right, guys.
Peace.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul, it was past